And here we are. It's me, it's me. It's that man with the FAT. And with me, as always, it's my co host,
I hate you.
Tori. Hey, Tori, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm watching NXT and the Hardys are back, which is kind of awesome.
Hold on. What are the words that just came out of your mouth?
Look, do they need to retire? Yes, but them being back in WWE after we thought it would never happen, it's kind of cool.
Valid. Okay. Okay. Not like you're rooting for Rey Mysterio or nothing. Um,
I'm not rooting for them to win. They're going to, but I'm not rooting for it. I just think it's kind of cool to have them back in a WWE ring
fair enough. Fair enough.
after Matt's run in AEW was Jeff showed up and then did what Jeff does.
Well, Jeff showed up and he did his dance before saving his brother,
which was fucking hilarious. That shit will always be funny. Did you want a shirt? Sasha made this for me.
Cool.
I was pretty excited about it.
I need her to message me back, by the way. I need to send her a message after we're done here. I'm trying to get her some business with my company.
Oh, nice.
Because we're getting raked over the coals by the screen printing company we're using.
Oh, I gotcha.
Yeah, so there's a blanket on there, like a throw blanket. Like one of them cheap ass throw blankets you get for like $5 at Walmart.
Did you message her already?
Yeah, I did. Oh, I haven't messaged her tonight. I'm going to message her after this is over. Just to kind of remind her.
I'm doing it now.
Oh, well, just, remind her that I need some, like, contact info to give my higher-ups that they can call her and work all that out. But yeah, the throw blanket that they have on there, it's just a solid color with our logo small in the corner, and they want, like, $30 for it. And I'm like, that's some bullshit. But anyway, so today, we're going to go over a little bit of news. There's not a lot going on this week as far as newsworthy stuff is done. But
I mean, Raw had some good segments.
Yeah. Well, no, that's what I'm saying. Like the 3 counts to me are better than the news this go around, because the news I was kind of scraping the bottom of the barrel over at Fightful Select, which, by the way, Fightful Select, that's where we get our news. Go over there, pay them $5, be a part of their Patreon, or just watch it for free here, whichever one you want to do.
And John was trying to fill time because they had a miscommunication with Shaz McKenzie for their interview today, which is awesome. If you get a chance, go watch it over at Chair Shot Sports. They had a great interview with her. It was a lot of fun to hear, but he told her 3:00, but he forgot she's an hour behind him.
So they were chilling for
him
an
and
hour.
Jess were trying to fill time, and yeah. So, and then at one point he went off camera, so Jess was on her own, and she's like, "This is a terrible idea."
I don't know why she used to do that shit on her own.
Yeah, but she's super introverted, so
I mean, yeah. There we go. Things were looking weird on the screen. All right, so news. So WWE trademarked a word, Kaylx, Kaylx.
I saw that.
There was a lot of speculation going on for a while of who it was going to be for. People speculated maybe it was a new name for Sol Ruka, but sources have actually validated that it's for WWE referee Jessica Carr. She's going to be doing some stuff over in the developmental Evolve.
Yeah.
And so that's going to be her in-ring name. Apparently she's going to be under a mask to try to keep the two characters separate. Her refereeing life and her wrestling life. So that's going to be kind of cool.
I don't hate that.
No, especially because apparently it was reported that she wrestled under a mask at some Evolve tapings already. So she was appearing in episode 4 for a tag match. So she's already kind of done it, and just this is a new name for her for that particular gimmick. So I'm really happy for her. She's done a lot of work on herself. She's posted
she looks amazing.
Yeah, she's posted quite a few things, quite a few pictures of her progress, from when she got interested in being in wrestling and then where she is today, and it's absolutely amazing. I highly expect Ref Bay to do the same thing at some point because she's doing the same thing. She's looking amazing right now.
Yeah.
And so I would not be surprised if she tries to get in the ring too. Speedball Mike Bailey, a while back, it was stated that he is officially going to be all elite, so that's where he is going.
Yes.
We did get some details of the contract, though. His contract finished up in TNA in October, with his contract expiring at year end. His AEW deal apparently is a multi-year deal, so they're going to put some effort and time into him. He is having a delayed debut because he has visa issues. So they're trying to get.
Shazam mentioned the same issue.
Yeah.
So I have a feeling this is going to be a problem for a bit.
Probably. So obviously with Bailey though, like he's bringing in a whole different type of wrestling than what they currently are seeing. It's a more martial arts inspired style. So it'd be kind of cool to see him in there. I am worried that we're going to end up with the ooh shiny new toy with him, and they'll push him and push him and push him, and then he just ends up somewhere in the mid card, if not somewhere in catering. But he does bring in something different, so maybe we'll see something different out of him. What do you think?
I will start with, I don't know a ton about him. Okay, let me start there. I haven't watched his stuff. I've seen like 2 matches with him in them. I'm not excited about it. Now, I've kept up with social media. I've seen a lot of stuff there. Veda Scott is his wife, girlfriend, partner of some kind.
Yeah.
And she does a lot of announcing, which is cool. What I've seen of him, okay.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple of his matches. It seems to me, he has a lot of high flying stuff, but it reminds me a lot like the Glacier character back in the day, of where it's a lot of martial arts. Maybe the cat, but without the comedy side of the gimmick. So we'll see what he does. Like I said, I'm just afraid we're gonna get him pushed down our throats for a while, and then we just won't see him after that. So I don't know. Finally got some news on Luchasaurus or Kill Switch, depending on which side of the fence you're on that particular name, and Skye Blue, because both of them have been out for kind of an indeterminate amount of time.
His was a much more serious thing, though.
Yeah,
hers was like a broken ankle.
Right. So both of them were in an interview, and just both of them separately had mentioned that they're both cleared to come back. So whenever they're ready to put her in. Skye Blue, obviously, like, she kind of has some ready-made things already in there, as far as things that she can come back to, because there was some unfinished business with her in the women's division when she left. So we could definitely.
Her and Julia were doing something together.
Yeah. So there's some stuff there, or if they want to stick her with the Kaylx group, because she's dating Kyle Fletcher. So you'd easily,
that wouldn't be bad.
Throw her in there to be part of that group. Luchasaurus, I mean, do you stick him with the patriarchy still, or like?
I would.
Yeah.
I would. I don't think that's a bad option. Just in general, I don't think it's a bad option. You already had him there, even if it's just long enough for him to turn on Christian.
Yeah. That's like, what we're leading to when he left anyway.
Right. I think that's where we were headed. Bring him back. Use all this as an excuse to say, well, his contract ended with Christian while he was out. So, because that was the big thing, was like he had Luchasaurus' contract.
Yeah.
I'm not saying bring Jungle Boy back, but honestly, you could bring Marco Stunt back to manage and talk.
Well, and like, who's to say we don't revisit that tag team with a different spin now?
Yeah.
Now have it be Jack Perry and like keep him as Kill Switch and have it be a more rugged version of that tag team.
Rugged, darker.
Yeah. I don't see any problem with that.
Nah.
Last little bit of news just came in, so I'm going to read this fresh off the presses here. On the February 19th episode of AEW Dynamite, there was an awkward exchange between Thunder Rosa, Megan Bayne, and Penelope Ford, following a match with Chris Statlander. So online speculation claimed that Bayne and Ford went into business for themselves, but the claim internally was that that wasn't the case. Those that Fightful has talked to said it would have been a coach or a producer miscommunication in not instructing the talent where to position themselves. So they are kind of pushing it back on the road agents, the ones who actually scheduled out of just not communicating properly what needed to be done. Still seems weird to me. I don't know.
It was so fucking awkward.
I don't know if I buy that line.
It's
to be honest.
Do what?
I don't know if I buy that line, to be honest.
Oh, I don't buy it. They're just trying to keep people from giving Megan Bayne heat for going into business for herself. It's like you're dating somebody and then you break up, but you made them a promise and you still have to follow through, but you're dating somebody else. It's that kind of fucking awkward.
Yeah. Well, and
it happened to me a couple times.
Here's my thing on it. I don't even know necessarily if it was her going into business for herself as much as they wanted Megan Bayne to look dominant and not scared, and like that was what was communicated to her. So maybe miscommunication is a way to say that, but it sounds like they told Thunder Rosa to go down there with a chair and, you know, have the heels back off, and someone told the heels not to back off. Because there's a couple of times she fake swung at them and they just stood there.
If that comes out that that's the case, that someone told them not to back off, I'd be real curious to hear who.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people in AEW that don't like Thunder Rosa.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I will totally admit, I am not a big fan. I never have been. I just don't.
I'm not either.
I don't get her. However,
I love her passion.
However, as someone booking, I mean, that was booking 101. You come out there with a chair, the heels see you coming, get surprised look, powder to get out of there. You can even still look strong powdering. You can just say, "No, I'm not doing this right now," and walk off. You don't have to walk off scared.
On my time as you leave. Like, it's not.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be like, "Oh my God, I'm so scared of her with a chair."
You know they've got that 4-man group in NXT, whatever. I don't even know what they're calling them.
Yeah,
Young Aces and Eights, whatever. Dion Lennox posted things. It's a picture of them from like behind them and down, showing the arena where they're at. And he said, "You don't know when we're going to show up, or what we're going to do, but one thing's for sure: no one is safe." Ava retweeted it and said, "Can you not actually?"
I love Ava.
I love stuff like that.
Can you just not, please? Can I just have one good show, please? Just let me have one.
Right.
I was sad because apparently part of the Bloodline mode that they have for the new game, one of the original screenshots had Ava's match against Ivy Nile. And so I was like, oh, so cool. So we're gonna get manager Ava for like GM mode and stuff like that, but we're actually gonna get like a wrestling Ava. And apparently they scrapped that, or that was something that was leaked that wasn't a thing, or don't know. But apparently it's not a thing, which makes me sad because I wanted wrestling Ava. But anyway, that's it for the news. So
hang on, I may have some news to add here from the NXT.
Okay.
The Hardys won. Phyraxian was on the ramp.
Okay.
They're in the ring saying, basically, let's do this. And Santino's music hit and the crowd went crazy. I love me some Santino. Did you see? You saw the thing with Lola Vice when he was like,
he's just so good.
He's about to cry.
I'm sure that feels amazing. Like to have,
I'm sure,
like people that you thought could have forgotten you by now, and people are just still loving it.
Hang on. Roadblock. Winner takes all.
Okay.
It's for the TNA titles.
Well, you just said winner takes all, though.
Okay. No, I said that.
You said okay. Sorry.
But they're doing it for the NXT tag or the TNA tag titles. That's very cool. Had gentlemanly handshakes. Okay, so we are getting Fraxium versus the Hardys to see which is the best team at Roadblock for the TNA titles. If they're going to do that with anybody, like move the titles off of somebody from TNA to NXT, this is the one that makes the most sense.
Yeah. As much as I don't want Fraxium to win it, because I want them to break up, because that is a 5.5-year story. Talk about finishing Cody's story, finish that back. Story. The Don? All right. So we'll go ahead and start with your 3 count. So the first one you wanted to talk about was the wonderful tag team title match that happened.
Oh,
good Lord.
Okay, so we talked about last week the online chatter about how badly the women's division has been booked. They took a great step if this is going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's the key thing, is this has to continue.
Yeah. But currently it's an shit patch, but...
Right. Lyra and Dakota tore it up, and then Ivy, after the match, well done. Like, so well done.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll come back to that. But then we had Liv and Raquel versus Bianca and Naomi for the women's tag titles. This may have been the best women's tag match of all time. And that's a huge bar.
Yeah.
Because we've had some incredible women's tag matches.
Yeah.
Start to finish, the whole thing was great. There was an easy 5 times I thought this match was over.
Yeah.
So I haven't watched LFG yet. That commercial came on, or the clip came on for it. So it's one of those things that, and like we talked about a little bit before the show, I thought Jade was coming back. I thought this was going to be what cost them the titles.
Yeah.
But the way it went down,
yeah, it was very beautiful.
It was perfectly booked. Start to finish, it was perfectly booked.
I personally did not expect them to lose. I didn't.
I did.
I expected Bianca to go into Chamber with the title, and we were going to probably pay that and the Jade thing off maybe the Monday after Chamber, or somewhere on the way to WrestleMania to close that out and get us a Mania match between Jade and whoever.
So I have thoughts. Go ahead. Sorry, I have thoughts on that.
Well, no, that's it. I mean, I thought she was going to keep the title so we can keep the story going for a little bit. It ending like this, like obviously the story can still happen, but they threw me for a loop on this one. They did the thing I didn't.
I said from the beginning when they announced this match, I said they're losing it. They're losing the titles.
Okay.
Because first of all, you now add in when Jade comes back. Not only did you attack me, but you lost my title. So if it was one of these two, which I honestly think it's Bianca, what I think we get is Bianca Rhea at the Rumble or at Mania, and Jade comes out and costs Bianca the match, and it starts a build to SummerSlam. But by the time we come back to Mania, one of them has the title, the other one wins the Rumble.
Okay.
We're getting Bianca Jade in a main event setting in the next 24 months.
Yeah, I would say that if we're in a situation where it's only one of them, it's Bianca. And that's only because they're pushing, they're not really pushing much anymore, but they were pushing the it's Naomi. And so they would swerve it and make it Bianca. I still kind of want it to be both of them.
From the word go, I at no point have thought that it was Naomi.
Yeah.
I think it's Bianca. Now, that doesn't mean Naomi doesn't know. But to me, no, this is 100%. To me, it's Bianca to set up that match that everybody wants.
Yeah. So to get into the details of the match real quick, though, it was constant interference from Dominic, constant underhanded tactics between Liv and Raquel. But the last bit of it was Naomi sitting up on the top turnbuckle. Raquel shoves her head into the turnbuckle post.
She went up for the split leg moonsault, and Raquel grabbed her foot.
Yeah, it caused her to clip her head on that roll up pin. Ball game, we're done. But yeah, there was so many false finishes in this. It at any point felt like it was over, and especially because like I started looking at like my clock at some point because we've been pretty steadily ending at 9:30.
Right. So, and that was one of those things because I'm like, okay, this is over. It's 9:30.
Yeah.
This is where that flexible window they talked about.
Yeah. Very helpful.
Perfect use of it.
Yeah.
Because we thought it was over. How many times?
Yeah.
And they ran over what, like 10 minutes?
Yeah. It was like 10 minutes or so.
Now, I know back at one point, USA used to give them an extra 5, and sometimes they went over that.
Yeah.
If this is how we use that, because Triple H said, we don't have a set out time.
Yeah.
If this is how you use it, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It made this so much better because, like you start looking at a clock, you're like, they've been out by now every week.
Yeah.
Except the first one. So
well, and then I'm waiting for the opposite to happen at some point where you get two people in the ring and one of them just mollywops the other one and then cameras cut at like 9:00. And it's like, we only got a 2-hour episode, but that's because dude got knocked the fuck out.
Right.
Throw those type of surprising things in there. I think that'd be awesome to happen. But yeah, obviously this gives the women division a good spotlight between that and the Lyra versus Dakota match. Both of those really caused it to have a good shine on the women's division. What's going on?
Chelsea Green is on NXT.
Yes.
She just said, talking about Zarya and Soruka, said, tell them the thrift store is that way and so is the door. God damn.
Dang. Did you see the video she did of doing the Bring It On stuff?
Cheer.
Yeah.
She just said, tell them they're Benny Blanca and Selena Gomez, destined for failure. Ma'am!
Good Lord.
So it looks like we're getting a tag match next week of Zarya and Soruka against Chelsea and Piper.
I'm good with that. I want to see Piper back in the ring a little bit. Like, she's kind of been missing in the ring since the U.S. title.
What they've done with Piper and how much she has taken advantage of her TV time.
Yeah, she makes those seconds count.
And when she turns on Chelsea, that shit is going to be so good.
Yep.
That program is going to be amazing. Ariana about to get her ass handed to her. This poor girl.
So speaking of the women's division getting a spotlight, though, your number 2 was the Lyra Valkyria and Ivy Nile thing, which just real quick, that was set up by a match between Lyra and Dakota for the Intercontinental title, which Lyra got away with.
So I knew that Lyra wasn't losing.
Mm-hmm.
Her first title defense, you're gonna take the title off her? No, you're not.
Yeah.
I really hoped in my soul that it was gonna happen. But it wasn't gonna happen. It was an amazing match, start to finish.
Mm-hmm.
There again, great false finishes. That chiropractor, that back, that shit is nasty.
Yep, every single time.
See, this is why I can't take Lola seriously.
She's
in there beating the piss out of Ariana and gets ahead and starts strutting around and dancing. I can't. Like, no, stop it.
Yeah.
I get doing it before your hip attack. I kind of get that.
Yeah. Because it's a taunt to set it up.
Right. But in general, fucking stop.
Yeah.
But yeah, so great match, start to finish. My hats off to both ladies. Just great match.
And I mean that I mean this with no disrespect at all. I am very glad I have not seen any reports since then that Dakota's hurt. Because it was a hard-hitting, good match. I was kind of afraid of how she comes out of it.
I think that's the concern with putting the title on Dakota Kai.
Yeah.
Is she's
been bit by the injury bug. Like it's not something she can control. It's just she's had some bad luck, unfortunately.
Definitely. Now, do I think putting the title on Ivy Nile is a good thing? It's not a bad thing. I definitely think that putting the title on Ivy. Do I think Lyra needs to lose in her second title defense? No. But if you build this up right and give me that match, WrestleMania pre-show,
yeah,
perfect time. The Creeds have the War Raiders. They're not winning that match either. And it just, they're not going to put the title on them. So how's that going to go when Gable comes back?
I don't know. That the whole thing's kind of weird.
Yes. But I was just super happy with both the women's matches. I thought they all fucking killed it.
Mm-hmm.
Ivy coming out and putting that dominant performance on Lyra after the fact was fantastic too.
Yeah.
Oh shit, people got jumped.
Me personally, I think Ivy getting the title is really a good idea. I believe her character more than I believe Lyra's. I still don't understand what Lyra's motivation is. I don't understand what her character is. I know that they did that little vignette where it's like, well, it's the Scottish version of a
I hear you.
Valkyrie. Like I don't get it.
I don't either. The NQCC got jumped by those 4 guys.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good because we've kind of been doing a turn with Jada anyway, so having them jumped by the heel group.
So here's the other. We were talking about that Queen of the Ring movie looks amazing. We definitely need to go see that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Partly just because like a bunch of people that we love are in it.
Yeah.
Like Timeless.
Yep. Which is your third.
Yes. Okay, I didn't get a chance to catch Mariah's whole thing from Saturday.
Okay.
But I caught Toni Storm's.
Okay.
I cannot with her. Was it Saturday or Wednesday?
So that was Wednesday. Mariah's was Saturday. So
I missed Mariah's on Saturday.
Yeah, we actually kind of already talked about the Toni Storm segment, but I'm perfectly fine throwing it in again, just because it was so good.
Talking about her big package, and I just can't. I know what I was thinking of. I was thinking of the Harley Cameron interview on Saturday.
Oh, okay.
Because that was amazing too.
Well, that's mine, so don't.
Gotcha.
I'll get to that in a minute.
I do need to go back and watch Mariah's. I don't think we're done with this feud, but I definitely think it needs to cool off for a little bit. It needs to simmer.
I'm going to tell you right now, you watch Saturdays and you will rethink that statement. Because
really,
Mariah May. So I'll set the scene for you. Toni Storm is coming in. It's the very beginning of the show. Like they haven't even started anything yet. It's showing the people coming in. She takes like 5 steps backstage. Okay, you just found it?
Yeah. Give me a second.
Sure. While she's watching that, how are y'all doing? How is everybody? We got 9 people watching us over here. For some reason our YouTube goal went away, but we have 58 people on YouTube. Yeah, there's more. Keep watching. She's nowhere near done. Can you hear the audio on it too? Because she's going to do a little promo here in a little bit.
She came flying in and fucked her up.
She is unhinged. We got 58 people on YouTube subscribe to us, so make sure you guys keep that up. Goal for that is 100 people follow us. I know it's a big lofty goal, but hopefully by the end of the year we can get there.
100 people where?
Over on YouTube.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here. Like our YouTube goal went away and our Twitter goal turned into our Twitch goal. I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to check what happened with that. But over on Twitter, we have 387 people, I do believe, following us currently. Goal for that's 500. TikTok there is correct, though. I just updated that one before the stream started.
That Storm Zero on the stage was nasty. She hit her with the hit her spotlight. God damn.
Well, she's not done yet. A couple people just joined us. Tori's watching the Mariah May segment from Saturday real quick. We were just talking about it. If you're over here because of retweet, whatever, from Princess Skywalker, appreciate you coming from that. Good friend of the show.
Okay, you're right. They don't need to let that shit cook. Let's do it right now.
I'm telling you.
That's gonna be so fucking good. Oh my god.
So
how is Mariah this good and this young in the business?
I have no clue. But however, so this means that we're going to have a match with them over on March 9th. It's a Hollywood ending stipulation. Don't know what that is yet. There hasn't been any info as far as what that means. I'm hoping just we borrow from places we've been before and do like a Hollywood parking lot brawl, like Piper and Dustin did back in the day.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of fun. So we'll see where that goes. But yeah, like she turned the heat up on that quick because I was where you were. I was like, all right, we need to let that settle for a little bit. Where's she going to go to next? And then I saw that, and I'm like, no, we need to do that. That needs to happen.
Yeah, that's
all right. We will get over to my 3 count. My 3 count is, first of all, the tag team match with Mellow Don't Miz and R-Truth and the Louisiana Zone Louisiana Knight.
That shit cracked me up.
This whole thing is what I love about professional wrestling. The comedy that Truth and Miz are bringing to it, because Miz is trying his damnedest to make this tag team work. He's throwing their names together. He's trying to do tag team moves together. He's trying everything he can to be a tag team with Mello. And Mello and LA Knight are just trying to have a match. At some point in the match, Truth actually dips out and tags The Miz, because of course he did. But then
did you see him on CVV?
Yes. R-Truth? Yeah.
The Royal Rumble hot tag?
Yeah. Just he's a national treasure. And Miz is right there with him. I know Miz gets a lot of flack, but Miz has
Miz doesn't get
potential.
near the credit that he should.
Not at all.
I have a little side note here. Nicholas Jackson on his Instagram like 8 hours ago posted a picture. It's him and Matt with Doc and Anderson and AJ Styles, and this is not an old picture.
Nice. I don't think that's going to open any doors. I really hope it does.
I don't think this is that old of a picture.
It depends. How long is the soccer hair?
You can't see it. He's got a hat on.
Oh, okay, well, shit.
You can kind of see it behind the like on his jacket hood.
Yeah.
The Jacksons look a little younger here, so it may not be recent, but
is he Buick wide? Because AJ has become thick boy since coming back. So, so Miz and Mello actually picked up the win, which completely surprised me. I thought the faces were going to win this one, with a really interesting finishing move. Like we did the no look leg drop with a move of the Miz's, and interesting little tag move. So maybe this is actually going to be a tag team that sticks around for a little bit. I would be perfectly okay with it.
We've been saying that Mello needed something.
Miz could be that something. Absolutely.
Yes.
Miz could teach him the ways of making his character work. My number 2, we just mentioned it earlier, Harley Cameron, with a bold proclamation. She comes out and she's telling the story of, like, there was this little girl from Australia. Little girl from Australia who loved professional wrestling. The first time she watched it with her grandma, she looked at her and said, "Grandmama?"
Okay. I have to say, part of what made this so good was the look on Lexi Nair's face.
Yes, because she was just dumbfounded by what was going on. Completely a real reaction, laughing her ass off about it. But she tells this whole story. She goes, "You know who that was? You know who that little girl was? It was my neighbor." And she says the neighbor's name, which I don't have right now. It's like Stephanie something. The crowd starts chanting the name of the friend. So the crowd's just eating this up. She says, but I don't know whatever happened to her. I took that dream and I ran with it. Basically saying that after the Australia show, she's been riding a wave of confidence. She's setting herself up now as a wild card in the business. She's such a treasure, such a personality. Good Lord.
Yeah. Now that whole promo was, whew. Look, she's literally been wrestling less than 3 years. To be this entertaining in less than 3 years?
Well, and
Stop.
I don't mean this because I hate when people compare people, right? Because they should be the first them.
Right.
This type of entertainment coming so early reminds me of The Rock.
Yes.
Because The Rock was like, he'd never wrestled before. He just had his first match. Like, his tryout match for Vince was his first match ever. And within, if he hadn't have been injured, taking that time out of it, within a few months, he's the most entertaining dude on the card.
The more TV time they give her, the better.
Yeah.
Scrolling through Twitter as we're talking, Carmella via Instagram addresses the news surrounding her contract expiration. Says she'll be going on a podcast later this week to answer questions, tell her side of the story because she has a lot to say about the situation.
Is it our podcast?
Huh?
Is it our podcast?
It unfortunately, I don't think that it's ours.
No. Then I don't care. No. Now that'll be good to listen to. Whether we're doing a little kayfabe or whether she's actually like talking about some stuff, it'd be kind of nice to see what happens there.
Well, I mean, after the news that Corey's thing was legit, it makes me wonder.
Well, and here's the thing though, like we've heard from some people it's legit. We've heard from some people, like what I'm gonna talk about here in a minute, that we don't know what it was. Like some people inside the company still have no idea what was going on with that. He obviously seems happy now, so I don't know if maybe he was trying something and it just didn't work out, and he was trying to blur that line and didn't work in his favor. I don't know. But to that point, Michael Cole was on Impulsive, which I hate giving that jackass any shout out, but he does have a decent podcast, though. I will give him that. It's not as good as ours, but it's a decent podcast. If he'd lose the buddy next to him,
more people,
only a few.
Only got a couple more subscribers than we do.
If he'd lose the guy next to him, because that guy always throws me off when they're doing their interviews, because he always asks the dumbest questions.
Michael Cole needed a shirt that fit. First of all,
that was angles. That was the way they had him sitting in that chair.
No, that shirt was from Baby Gap.
We have seen that dude with his shirt off.
I understand that. I'm telling you, he got that shirt at Baby Gap and needs to take it back.
But so many stories, it was hard to pick one, but I listened to the interview and I loved it a lot. He talked about his relationship previously with Vince. He talked about the difference in the environment of him being on commentary now versus what it was when Vince was still there. But I wanted to point out just kind of like the real life him and McAfee friendship, because he said basically like he's fit right in. It's a great environment to him because it's a fan. Like McAfee is a fan watching wrestling. He even said he attributed to like it's almost like we're two buddies at a bar watching wrestling every week. There's no stress about it. We're just having fun watching wrestling, which is the way it should be.
Cole has gotten... Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Cole has gotten so much better since Vince isn't chirping in his ear the whole show.
Absolutely.
I'm sure he gets a few things from Hunter, but not like what he had.
Yep. He says that the commentary partnership feels more meaningful, knowing that they've overcame a rocky start, which is actually the story that I wanted to talk about. So when Pat McAfee first kind of started doing it, was at the WrestleMania that he started at, and everybody was in tuxes because it's WrestleMania season, and that's what you're supposed to wear.
And he showed up in shorts.
Well, not only shorts.
I caught that. I'm like,
tuxedo shorts. But behind the scenes, like at the time, something going on.
Ricky's entrance. I just want to see it.
Oh, okay. At the time, Michael Cole was head of the announcers, so he was in charge of all of them. He said, luckily, he's not anymore. That's not his job anymore. He's just an announcer now. But at the time, he was in charge of them. So he sees Pat McAfee walk in, ready for commentary in shorts, and in front of everybody, berates him about it. Which he even admitted was like, "That's my bad. I shouldn't have done that in front of everybody." But like, I was hot about it. So he was saying, just like since they've kind of built that respect and that friendship, despite that rocky start, he's like, it's such a great relationship and a great time for him being there. He does mention also that, of course, Vince being the asshole he is, Vince probably would have said something about it, but the fact that Michael Cole said something about it, he then harassed Michael Cole for pointing up, saying it wasn't that big a deal.
Def Rebels has done it again. His music opens with him saying, "Welcome to the revolution."
Of course it does.
I'm sorry. If you're not going to give me that open beat with "the revolution will be televised," I don't want it. That music was banger, okay?
Yeah. Well, they will be gone soon, hopefully.
God, I
everything
hope so.
I hear, I hear that they are not sticking around for much longer.
Because they're terrible.
Yeah, it's bad. It's just bad. So before we close out the night, I am going to say just a little programming note. The release of the game, my copy of it at least, I don't know if you pre-ordered yet. I know you were talking about it.
Not yet. I'm doing that probably Thursday.
Okay. Pre-order comes out.
I may do it while we're on the show just to watch you get happy.
There you go. Pre-order of the game comes out March 7th. I have already taken off March 7th and the Monday after. Just that way I can go and play around a little bit, used to the game before we start streaming it.
Okay, folks, let me clarify what he means by play around a little bit. What he means is play that game for 96 straight hours and then sleep on Monday.
Probably. Because I do that every time.
Yeah.
But between that and creating us, yeah, absolutely.
Right. Oh, those scrubs that came out with Wesley. I was like, who the fuck are those guys? Shout out to Matt Taven. Today is 17 years in the business.
Nice.
And I'm like,
doesn't seem like it's been that long.
First of all, Taven's just exciting as fuck.
Yeah.
He's entertaining. Javon Evans is crazy. Like, his moveset is...
Javon himself is just crazy.
But yeah, so shout out to Matt Taven. When Maria was on the Heels call, she had nothing but amazing things to say about him. I love everything I've seen from him. The way he responds to fans. Shout out to Matt Taven.
Yeah. I'm good with that. So I don't have a Twitter thing to bring up this week. I do have a thing to bring up, though. I have been digging into my Spotify, and apparently with Spotify you get free audiobooks. Well, one came across my way, Mox's biography, read by Mox. So I've been listening to that for 3 days. Yeah, it's interesting.
I want to know how they got this dude to sit down and... What?
Yeah, it's weird. Especially because, like, he wrote his book very conversational. So it's literally like he's just like spouting off shit off the top of his head while he's sitting there. It's been a good listen so far. There's a couple of things that I'm a little, like, you could tell he wrote it right after he left and there were still some hurt feelings. Because there's a couple of things.
AEW and WWE and AEW?
Well, between him and WWE. Because you could tell this, like, he talks about how he was signing with AEW. The book came out shortly after he joined AEW. You could tell there was still some hurt feelings. But it's still a good listen so far. Like I said, just a couple of things that seemed like he was holding a grudge because of some of the final moments of his career in WWE.
I don't blame him. He got fucked over.
I don't either.
Okay, have you seen these posters they're doing for promotional stuff for Dynamite?
Mm-mm.
Here's the newest one.
Okay.
Damn it, that's not what I wanted. That was my go help my friend. That was not what I wanted.
Oh yeah, that's. Well, hold on though. That's Girl Scout cookies. I'm gonna keep that open.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to leave that? It's for Gina.
Well, no, I already clicked it. So I mean, you can take that away if you want
Okay.
to, or just like post another message. I will always.
I'll just leave it there for you. You're welcome. No, her daughter Samantha's selling Girl Scout cookies and has a goal. So these posters, I need to message Mel and find out if she's doing. Like, is she doing this?
So it's amazing artwork. I question why we're pushing this Western. Like, I understood the Bandito thing.
Right.
But are we having a Dynamite that's Western themed coming up? Like a
what they call Osprey the aerial assassin.
Well, yeah, but then do like Assassin's Creed or something. Don't do Western.
No, that's what that Osprey's got his back to you. That's an Assassin's Creed outfit.
Well, I know, but it's still like it's Western. Like it looks like a Western poster.
That's because they've done Assassin's Creed in the old back in the day.
I'm not. I'm just saying. Like that's the only thing I don't understand. Like because I don't know if we're going to like a themed show or something, and that's why we're pushing this on everything. Because them doing the Bandito thing made sense to me, but making this look Old West, it's beautiful artwork, but I just don't understand why we chose to go that route.
But yeah, I'm just like, that's fucking amazing.
Yeah.
So I shouted at Mel to see if it's hers because that shit's so good.
Yeah. I like them putting effort into it though, like regardless of whether I agree with the aesthetic or not. At least we're finally putting some effort into what it looks like because their promo posters have been pretty trash.
So somebody posted a thing about Jordan and Roxanne, and it says, "Damn, Roxanne's knee got caught up. I hope she's all right." But Jordan retweeted and said she should thank God I have a rule against kicking someone's ass with the girls out. Ma'am, you just got here.
But her girls are covered.
Roxanne's weren't.
Oh. I mean, it's wearing a general top.
Well, but Jordan's wrestling gear is usually pretty stable.
I wonder if she means like she's not wearing a bra with the outfit.
That's
because
possible.
It's very possible.
So I'm definitely going to rewatch that Chelsea Green segment to see what all was said.
Yeah, she doesn't seem to be favoring the leg when she's like backpedaling, so I'm sure she's all right. But yeah, she got caught up pretty hard there.
We're getting Julia Stephanie title for title at Roadblock.
Oh.
Tuesday, March 11th.
So do we get a clean win with that, or just like do we get a schmoz?
Somebody's getting involved. There's not a chance they're putting both those titles on one of them. You're really going to do this early? Say Julia's better or Stephanie's better? We're not doing that.
Yeah, that just seems like an odd choice.
Somebody's going to get involved.
It would have made much better sense to just make that for one of the titles. Like you know who's going to win, but at least then like there's going to be a final call.
AJ Styles and the Young Bucks, Styles pulled him down like he was going to do that reverse DDT.
Mm-hmm.
Swings him over into a Styles class position, at which point Matt takes them. AJ launches Nick in the air for the Meltzer driver.
Mm-hmm.
They hold on to him. AJ picks him up for the Styles clash again. Super kick into the Styles clash. Jesus Christ.
Yeah. That comes across my Twitter feed a few times.
And then his Pele kick and their super kick to Okada. That's damn.
Yeah.
If you find a way to get the Bucks to show up in WWE, one of two things would happen. Either the fans are going to absolutely boo the shit out of them no matter what,
right?
Or they're going to lose their minds.
I'm going to go with the first.
You think they would just boo them?
Oh no, sorry, I meant the latter. I think they'd lose their minds. Now where they would take it, I'm sure they would boo them after, because I'm sure they'd go there acting all high and mighty as the executives of the other company. The sad part is there should be nothing stopping them from doing that.
I understand I don't want my people jobbing on your TV.
Yeah.
I understand that.
Mm-hmm.
Do I think having the Bucks show up for a segment with AJ is hurting anything? No. Do I think having Seth in the ring and Mox come through the crowd is hurting anything? No. Do I think having them involved in stuff with Cody is a bad thing? No. Do I think this is all about ego and money? Absolutely.
Yeah.
First of all, the money part doesn't make sense to me because you're just making a license to print cash.
Mm-hmm. Well,
even if you did a cross-promotional show where none of your people wrestle each other, we get AEW matches and WWE matches at the same time, license to print money.
Well, I don't understand the money anyway, because like there have been reports that basically say like this is his hobby when it comes to how much money, in coordinates to how much he spends on AEW. So money's not a problem. He's not going to lose money by sending them over there. But if you could tell anything, just by the NXT TNA people haven't come over to NXT and jobbed. In fact, actually, generally when they came over, they went on top, and then the person would show up.
Jordan jobbed.
She jobbed,
but it's to Roxanne Perez. I mean, the champion.
Well, not only that,
they're not jobbing. They're not jobbing to, Sol Ruka in 3 minutes. Like, these are great matches.
Well, and even to Roxanne Perez, the champ, in 3 minutes. Like, that's kind of my thing. Like, I don't consider that jobbing. She came over and did a job.
Yeah.
But she looked amazing doing it. And so her showing up then on TNA's program, and then Roxanne doing the job to get that, equal win, looked amazing.
I don't think at any point they've done anything to make me say. Now, I will say I feel like NXT's gotten the better side of this so far. But I do also feel that NXT is a higher level than TNA. And I don't say that as a slight on TNA. But do I feel like NXT's lower tier people going over there is better for both that way? 1,000%. But like Thursday, Oba showed up.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get Fraxium and the Hardys coming over here at Roadblock. Like, I think we're going to start seeing more big name. Core Jade went over there and had a stare off with somebody.
Well, and Oba went over there, and I haven't got to watch the episode, but from what I understand, nothing happened between him and Moose. The thing that happened is he went there to say, we're having a 6-man match. I'm going to tag with the Hardys.
Rochambeau.
And so we're getting Oba and the Hardys versus Moose and the rest of his group.
And the system. They actually called Ricky's finisher the Rochambeau.
Nice. I mean,
you get it on Wesley and Wesley sold the shit out of it. So,
I mean, you can't. I don't think you can trademark that name because it's
because
an actual thing.
Rochambeau is actually the name for rock paper, scissors.
Yeah. So I don't see why there would be a problem with that.
I think when they go on the road like this for NXT, they need to put the announcers up by the stage. Wesley just went for a dive on Ethan Page, and Ethan Page moved over because of how close the announce table was.
Yeah.
I guarantee that JD McDonough's spot made them go, we need to be a little more careful about this because he got fucked up.
Well, and yeah, Ricky Saints for the win. Hey, Big Mike, welcome to the game here. Yeah, and that's still not working. So you know what? Screw it. I'm not doing that anymore. We'll figure out a different way to do this. But Big Mike in the chat, Ricky Saints for the win. Good to see him win. Good to see him still have Rochambeau. We were actually just finishing up the night, just kind of chit-chatting towards the end of the night here. Finishing out NXT. Was that the main event?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. But yeah, no, to kind of continue our conversation, you know, it's got to be ego that's in the way of making that kind of partnership, because absolutely, with everything that's going on right now, you got this program that Seth's kind of digging into Cody a little bit, having either the Elite show up or have Mox show up to back up Seth.
Think about what you could potentially do here.
Mm-hmm.
If we could get over ourselves, you have Dustin show up first, because he should. Dustin should be there and should be in. Like, there shouldn't even be a question that Dustin's in the Hall of Fame. Well, it shouldn't even be a conversation.
Dustin's been trying to get his old music. That's another thing that I don't understand, because I think WWE owns it because it's in the archive of their stuff. Give that man his music. Like, he just wants the natural music. But yeah, have him show up. That makes perfect sense. Have him try to back up his buddy, his brother Cody.
And at that point, Chelsea went to a Raptors game tonight. I'm guessing they pre-taped that. She looks so good. But and then Seth comes out and be like, "Oh, you brought back up. I did too." And either his old music hits or the Shield music hits, and they need to call him Jon Moxley.
Yeah.
To me, it's the same thing as Spears. He was Ty Dillinger, the perfect 10, which is still one of the greatest things ever to me.
And if we're talking about him just popping in, there's no reason not to. They called Fandango just for the sake of saying, hey, it's Fandango, but then they announced him as JDC. Like, yeah, they used his current name.
Now, I will say, this is absolutely something Vince would have never done.
No.
Bringing people in with their old names? Oh, no. He just said, if he's showing up, he's Fandango. He's using this music.
Yeah.
And that's all that's going to...
He's wearing the bell bottoms. He's coming out there with some array.
There's no chance he would have let this slide without it being his old music and everything.
Yeah.
There's no way.
He's going to be the thing that I created.
Spears. He'd have been Ty Dillinger.
Yeah.
So I think, and Big Mike can weigh in on this, I think we're at the point that at least a conversation needs to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
Nice. Yeah. That's and you're right, Mike. I caught that too. They did Fandango's music for a second, got the pop out of it, and then changed it over. And then when he came back, they just did the new music.
Yep.
And that's how it should be.
Yeah, we said that about someone else. Who was that we said? Like, Cardona. Like, him coming in, the way they should do it is you hear the O radio start,
or
record
the woo,
scratch.
Woo, woo.
Well, that was the part of the opening of his music was the O radio. And so
I thought they changed it so it started with the woos.
Oh, did they? Yeah, but
I think so.
That's very Def Rebel. Let's not do that. We don't need his catchphrase at the beginning of it.
Fair.
But yeah, like, yeah, reference it for the pop, reference it for the nostalgia of it, but then let's do that because I'm with you. Like hearing the Dean Ambrose music would be cool, but then they need to say John Moxley. They don't need to say that or do the Shield music, have him come down. Like that makes
Here's
perfect
the
sense.
thing: if you're gonna do this, you have Cody in the ring because I think they're gonna end up doing a Cody Seth program again. I think it's gonna be better than what we got the first time, just because nobody remembers anything from that except for Cody's torn pec. But if we get this, Cody comes out with Dustin in tow and says, I brought some backup, Seth. What do you got? Kind of thing. It's not live, it's Memorex. You have Seth pop up on the screen and say whatever, then that music hit and him and Ambrose come through the crowd.
Yeah.
Give me that tag match, because no matter how you do this, that shit is money, and nobody's gonna look bad regardless of who takes the pin.
Yeah, for sure. Big Mike, I agree. Yeah, either way, like however we do it, we start it off and then record scratch, then do his current theme.
100%,
Absolutely.
Mike. That's what we said. You can't. I just feel like they're just leaving so much opportunity for everybody.
Well, and so like again, like it seems to be a running theme with us every time we start kind of fantasy booking is we bounce those ideas back and forth. I love your idea, but to me, that idea starts with Dustin getting put in the Hall of Fame. Monday after, he's on the stage doing the wave thing. He gets jumped by Seth. We get
Seth comes out and just chin music thing.
Yeah. And we get
Here's
rolling.
my thing. And I know they're not going to do it. I need them at least once to use the Hall of Fame to enhance a story. One time. And Dustin is a perfect option.
Yeah. Well, it's like you're not his biggest fan, but to me, why have we not done something with the fact that Ray's in the Hall of Fame? We put him in the Hall of Fame.
They call him the Hall of Fame or whatever. I don't really listen to him when they're talking about Ray. But
we're not doing anything with that.
No,
he's just the Hall of Famer.
I just don't.
I like that idea, Mike.
What did he say?
He said he thinks that Cardona should come in, win the U.S. title, and be the VP to Chelsea's president.
That's amazing. That is amazing, and I would sign up for that every day because I love Chelsea Green.
I pledge allegiance to the Cardonas. I'm down. Let's do that. But yeah, it's sad that we're leaving all of that opportunity and all that money on the table. It's so easy to just,
and it's opportunity for both. And I know everybody's gonna say WWE's bigger, blah blah blah. I don't disagree, but I still think you just make more money by pushing both.
Yeah, specifically starting that conversation with people that are already a namesake. You could have Omega come up and people would know. If Darby showed up on Raw, how many people in that crowd know who Darby is? If Orange Cassidy shows up, how many people in that crowd know who Orange Cassidy is?
I'll dispute the Orange Cassidy one.
And I could be wrong. I'm just saying.
I'll agree with you a little bit on Darby. I think a certain portion of the people will know who he is.
But
Orange Cassidy, no, if you bring him out, you use his old music, he 100% gets a pop.
Yeah. But, I mean, we're not getting that huge pop, though, of, like, if a Moxley showed back up, if Cesaro showed back up. And I'm not going to say that all the WWE guys are that way either, because like I don't think that there would be a pop that big if Pac showed back up. I just don't think enough people are
If
behind
Neville came back.
Yeah, because I don't think enough people are behind his work outside of what he did in the WWE. But if you started that conversation off with those bigger names, then absolutely it's okay to put them on WWE TV instead. If we're not going to, then start that conversation with NXT, and then eventually we can bleed it over into the bigger show. But we start it there and go from there.
I definitely think that you could do this in a way that benefits both companies completely, that nobody is at a disadvantage. You're not wrong, Mike. Big Mike. If Miro comes back, he needs to be Rusev.
Yeah. I think Miro would be fine if he had built that name bigger, or had the opportunity to, I'll say, because as far as I'm concerned, he didn't get the opportunity he needed to.
No, he didn't
become a bigger name.
The Redeemer character was great, but they just completely dropped the ball on it.
Well, yeah, because they tried to go back to old hat. They tried to stick him back with Lana, and then they did a weird love triangle thing again. And it's like, why are we doing this story again?
According to him and CJ Perry, they were supposed to be put together and given a huge push.
Yeah.
And both of them have said this, and they're not even married anymore.
Yeah.
But they're both like, no, this is what was supposed to happen.
Yeah. There was a lot of reports saying that was what the plan was, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, no, we're just going to do that story again of she's doing stuff with this other guy. Why? Why did we go that route? I'm just sticking with it.
And I feel like they missed the boat by not doing more with CJ Perry. She's talented.
Oh yeah, Rusev Day was so over.
Oh my God.
WWE missed the boat completely on that one.
And now that we have this thing with TNA,
have Matt come back. Yeah, absolutely.
You have him come out, and then his music just stops. And then Matt stands up and does the intro for Rusev.
Ooh.
That's how you bring him back.
Yeah, I think I started him in TNA then.
Yeah.
Let them use Rusev, though. Like, let TNA use Rusev.
As a WWE guy.
Yeah.
And when you put up his name, put that he's a WWE guy. But leave him in the TNA for 6 months.
Yeah.
Put a TNA title on him. Who cares?
Have him be like an open shared product or something. Like some sports term that I don't know.
But if we can get... Yeah, Rusev Day was still over. Like, they were still chanting that in AEW.
Yeah.
But yes, if we get that one time, that shit'll be so amazing.
It would be fun. So speaking of TNA real quick, I'll go ahead and say we'll make this the last topic. We'll go ahead and we'll close it out. We got 17 people watching us. Hi everybody. Big Mike's talking to us. Anybody else want to drop some stuff in the chat? We'll talk about whatever you want to talk about as well. There's been a conspiracy theory that's out there right now that a lot of people are kind of behind, that WWE already owns TNA.
With the departures that happened with SoCal Val and Josh Matthews, I'm inclined to find that a little more credible because Matthews left WWE with heat.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest, if you Google SoCal Val, some interesting photos come up.
Yeah. Which we know that they have issues with that, a la Mandy Rose. So.
Right. I don't know I think this may be the same thing as what Heyman had. They're just putting money into it, but they don't own it.
An undocumented partnership.
Yeah. An unofficial, an undocumented, but here's this little money on the slide, because if we build you, we can poach your talent and use you to enhance our lower end talent.
I think Big Mike just looked up SoCal Val.
Oh, that was a great response. Well done.
I loved her work as Elizabeth, by the way. Her being the Elizabeth to
Macho to Jay Lethal.
Yeah, Black Machismo. Elizabeth.
Yeah, that shit was so good.
Will you marry me?
I am. I just, and it's not. I will say they're not bad pictures. It's just
hold on. Incognito tab. Incognito tab.
Nah, own that shit. I've
never looked at Mandy Rose's pictures. Never.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
That's right.
I love when I can use a good Monty Python reference.
No, I'm with you on that one. That's when I saw that going around. That's the first thing I thought was they did let some people go. That kind of makes sense that they would let people go if they owned it.
I wonder if it's a they owned it, or if they're, and then
then they brought one of their own, like new, mind you. She's very new, and I think she was just contracted with WWE, but then slid her over in the announcing role. Because wasn't that the new announcer they were using in WWE for a little while?
No, Mackenzie Mitchell.
Yeah. What is she doing? Like interview stuff?
Yes, they had released her. She's married to Phillips.
Yeah.
No, not Phillips. Vic Joseph.
Okay.
So no, that was just she found a job offer because Jade left because Josh left.
Okay.
Yeah, Jade Chung had left because Josh's contract was up and he was leaving. So she stepped down from the ring announcer role. And I think Mackenzie Mitchell is stepping into that role, but that's Vic Joseph's wife.
Okay. Not Mike Tom's? Tom Mike's?
That's not Tom Mike Tom. It still cracks me up that Mike Rome is still there. So one half of Mike Tom is still there. The other half of Tom Mike is announcing for TNA, which
now he's not Tom Mike.
I'm really hoping that we get a joint show, whether it's TNA, NXT. Give me both announcers. Give me a battle royal with both sets of announcers, because I want to hear Corey yelling at Tom.
We've got Survivor Series coming up at the end of the year. We could do like old fashioned when it was Raw versus SmackDown, of you have the announcers on both sides. We have TNA matches and NXT matches, and then one big one at the end where it's everybody against everybody.
So I think they would do well for Survivor Series on the NXT show before Survivor Series.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roadblock is. Because we're getting Oba Moose.
Mm-hmm.
We now have Fraxium Hardys.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. I mean, we're getting Julia Stephanie.
And last week on TNA, if I remember right, Wesley was doing stuff with the Rascals again.
I bet it was with that tag team that Wesley is with now.
Yeah, like they were doing a thing there, so we might end up with that again.
We've beat that horse dead. Let's stop.
I mean, it's not Javon Evans' face. We haven't beat it that bad.
I really need to get a yellow referee flag so I can throw a flag on some of these plays. I didn't talk about it earlier because I didn't think about it till just now. The Street Profits heel turn.
I don't consider it a heel turn.
Oh, it's a heel turn.
To me, it's a tweener situation.
It's a heel turn. It'll end up being a heel turn.
It could, yeah. It like I see it going.
It's
that
a
direction.
give us our title, and then we're beating down everyone.
Yeah.
But if it is Bianca that attacked Jade, putting her with the Profits makes sense.
Yeah.
Did they release BFAB? Did they release BFAB?
Did they release BFAB? I don't think they did. I think.
Well, where's she been?
I don't know. Enjoying good catering. Core and Slamovich are feeding in TNA as well. Yep, they're doing their thing over there. I think they're keeping that more on their show though. I haven't seen Slamovich pop in except for that in the crowd moment that they had.
But then, it was Core that had a run-in with Slamovich.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're doing right now.
I don't know. I'm a fan of it though. The whole thing, I'm loving this whole thing. Every little bit of it. Anytime you can give me like dream matches that I didn't even know that I wanted, it's amazing.
Yeah.
Jordan standing in between of Stephanie and Julia, knowing that at some point that's going to happen. Just great.
I can't find anything specific on BFAB, so.
How long do you give Jordan in TNA or in NXT? You think we do a year and then she gets pulled up?
No. By SummerSlam, latest Survivor Series.
So maybe like a 6-month thing.
I say that they may keep her through Survivor Series to lead the NXT team.
That's right. The last time she BFAB was out there, she was with Michin going around the US title stuff.
That's right. So if they got her away from the Profits, which isn't a bad thing, she wasn't bad with them. But if we're going to do this turn and she's playing face, she doesn't need to be with them.
Well, and it's the rinse and repeat thing, obviously, because we've got Dom with Liv, and that's like he's kind of palling around more with Carlito lately than he is with anybody else in the group. So you got those two of them a couple, one of them kind of just there. If we did the same thing with Street Profits and Bianca, you have Montez and Bianca together. You have damn it, my brain doesn't work. Montez and
Dawkins.
There we go. Thank you. Could not make the name. Saved my life for some reason. Dawkins over on his own.
He is doing really well on his own. Like
Yeah. So who do you think the new member is?
For the Judgment Day?
Yeah, we're teasing that way too hard for there not to be a new member pop up.
I think it's somebody from the outside.
Do you think maybe it's Aleister Black?
It'd fit. The problem is, if you're taking Finn out, which I think they're going to do, then bringing Aleister Black in doesn't make sense.
What if you don't take him out? What if Aleister Black comes in and says, this is not what Judgment Day was supposed to be, and we kick out all the riffraff, and so we have Demon Finn, and we start building that group back to what it was?
I don't know. I really don't want Aleister Black with the group. I want him on his own.
I do too.
I know they moved Zelina to SmackDown, which makes me think they'll put him on SmackDown.
Yeah. It makes more sense. But
I'm ready for him to show up because that shit's going to be so good.
Yeah. Yep. Y'all are thinking too much alike. I don't like this. You're going to heel turn. Go over to the run-in. I get stuck with Sped.
Nope. I'm not. Mm-mm.
No?
No.
Okay. I'm going to have to adjust my levels if Sped comes over.
We're not going to make fun of Sped. Stop it.
I'm not making fun of him.
When him and I debate, he's going to be wrong. It's fine, but we don't need to make him feel worse.
No. I love Sped. Just Big Mike, if we get him to stop eating the mic so much. I'm a headphone user, and it gets kind of loud.
Yeah. We love those guys. I enjoy the running. They're a lot of fun.
Absolutely. Love catching the
video. The stuff we've done with them, I'm looking forward to doing more stuff with them.
Yep. No, it's.
No, I love you guys. You guys are great.
It's the devil you know versus the devil you don't know situation. I'm pretty sure that's all it is. She knows what she can get away with me.
Hang on. Are you both commenting on this one account?
No, I think that's all.
Is this just Mike?
Yeah, no, I think he's asking, do you not like him because you weren't going to go over to him? You're like, no, I'm staying here.
Oh no, I go hang out with Mike. Yeah, I do show with Big Mike. I'm good with that.
Well, that's what I was saying. Are you turning heel and they're going to go over there and stick me with Sped?
Yeah. I'm 100% doing that heel turn.
Throw me through a barbershop glass window?
You wouldn't be the first. I did it to Earl years ago, so
there you go. That reminds me of the picture I still have somewhere of me getting hit by a chair by a guy that was quitting over at Capital One.
Look, there's not many chair stories that will trump what happened here. Okay?
You are correct. Hold on. I'm going to time code this. We are at 1:31. I'm going to time code this because I'm going to put this on our other socials too, just so we can have the story out there for funsies. Do you want to start it or do you want me to?
You can start it and then I'll take over where it involved me.
So we both met at a certain television service company that starts with a D and ends with a V. Recently bought by a company that starts with an A and ends with a T, but all of them are A's and ends with S's. So we're working there, and I went off for the birth of my firstborn, my son. I did a Family Medical Leave Act. We had this whole thing where if I used PTO for 3 weeks, they would pay for 3 weeks for me being off for paternity leave, and so I took 6 weeks off. What's supposed to happen is HR is supposed to go in and change my last 3 weeks for me because obviously I am not there to change my time card. That apparently did not happen. So when I get back, HR pulls me in, asks me what's going on, and I tell them, well, I was home. And they're like, okay, well, we overpaid you for 3 weeks. I was like, okay, not a problem. I'll guarantee the money's still there. I don't have a new car or a TV in the parking lot, so money's probably still there. Let me just call my wife real quick. Make sure you guys can pull it. They say, well, it's not that simple. It is now considered time card fraud. I'm like, time card fraud for a time card I couldn't touch. Makes perfect sense. As they're saying this, the girl that was supposed to be doing that is sitting in the same room with us. So I'm like, all right, so what's the end result here? Well, we have to investigate this to see if it's proven time card fraud. So they tell me this. I go out to the car. I call my wife at the time, and I'm like, I am like 2 seconds away from just walking out. Because at this point, I'd worked with this company for like 8 years. And
it's been a hot minute.
We had worked there from when it was a contracted company with a different company to them building their own center. I had been a training manager. I had been a manager. I'd worked my way up from calls on up. And I was like, I've been here this long, and this is what you do. So she's like, I support whatever you want to do. And I'm like, fuck it, I'm out. So I go to my manager's office. Like, all right, I'm done. I'm not doing this. If you guys...
Not waiting for them, basically.
Yeah, I'm not waiting for them to say if I'm fired or not over something that's not my fault. So I'm out. I'm going to bounce. And so I leave. Well, since this was an HR issue, nobody knew what was going on. My team didn't know. The trainers
I
didn't know.
knew because we were friends. I
Right.
got a phone call that afternoon
Right.
about what had happened.
So I share with her what had happened, but nobody else there knows what's going on because I was not allowed to tell anybody about it. They're not allowed to tell anybody about it. And so, because of that, people constantly asked Tori because they knew Tori was my best friend. They knew that I hung out with her all the time. They constantly asked her, "What's going on with Mike? What's the deal? Where's this going?" And so her response to them was, and I'll let you take it from here.
So one day somebody asked me, and I'm like, I'm so fucking tired of this question. So I'm gonna have some fun with it. I'm like, I I don't know if I can really tell you what happened. Like I'm really like I hammed this shit up. And they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, it's kind of a thing that I don't know if I should say anything. I'm like, you know what, I can't. And I just walked off. They literally chased me down. And at this point, I went, okay, I got you right here. So here we go. I'm like, okay, look, you cannot tell anybody this. But and you didn't hear this from me because I want to gossip. So you heard this from me. I said, what I heard is that Mike and his manager got into an argument, and Mike got so frustrated he picked up a steel chair and hit his manager in the head with it, and that's why they fired him. And they were like, "No way!" I said, "Look, I didn't tell you that. I swear to God, it took no less than 4 days for the director of the call center to walk, who I had become friends with. I had gotten to know Greg. He walked up. He said, can you come to my office for a minute?" And I'm like, God damn it. This went too well. So I walk in his office and he's like, so I heard something. And to be clear, no one has specifically said that it was you. But there is a rumor about why Michael is no longer with us. And I, of course, looked him dead in the face without blinking and was like, oh, I don't know what you're talking about. I ain't said nothing. It's not my business. And he kind of looked at me, and that's when I smiled, and he was like, okay. I said, but I ain't said nothing. And he was like, you know what? I'm not even going to mess with this. Okay.
But you didn't hear that from me.
Right. Literally. A couple of years later, I'm at a different call center, a completely different call center. And I want to say it was one of the phone services. It was at Cityplex.
Okay.
So we started talking about people we knew from other call centers, blah, blah, blah. Something was said about Michael. And I'm like, oh, yeah, he's like one of my best friends. And they're like, wait, really? You know him? And I'm like, yeah, like we talk all the time. They're like, I have a question. And I'm like, no, the fuck it's not. No, the fuck it's not. And it was. They said, I heard he got fired because he hit his manager with a chair. I said, I'm sorry, what did you just ask me? They said, I heard he got fired for hitting his manager with a chair. At which point I fell out of my seat laughing. And they're like, why are you laughing? I said, I don't think you understand how funny this is because that's not fucking true, but I made it up. They're like, no way. I'm like, you're right. It's true. It happened.
Yeah. What made it totally believable is the simple fact that the dude that was officially my manager, I say I went to my manager to quit, but it wasn't. It was, her name was Rebecca. She was a good friend of mine. I went to school with her from middle school until we graduated high school.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, we knew each other a long time.
Okay.
I went to tell her. I considered her my manager when I was a supervisor on the floor. She was my manager. And then I left her to go to the training department. And my manager was leaving because she had a midlife crisis. Like, we're talking like she was under her desk crying, talking on the phone to her ex-husband, midlife crisis. Saw her a few weeks later at Lady Godiva's, not as a patron.
Who?
You don't remember her? Candace, the pretty blonde chick that was the manager of the training department?
Shut up.
Yeah, full on mental like breakdown. I
was one of those for a team lead, so
I was under the impression, so was everybody else in the training department, that I was going to get that job because I'd been there the longest. I'd rewritten the entire training department. Like, I had done so much work in training to get us to where we were. And then we found out that some dude from the Knoxville office was coming in. And we found out the reason that they gave him that is because he couldn't make it as a production lead. So they were going to move him to as a training lead to see if that was a better fit for him.
Which makes so much sense. You're not any good on the fucking floor, but you're going to train the people to be on the fucking floor? Yeah.
No, you're going to train the people who train the people to be on the floor. That's the worst part. You're going to manage those people. And so people totally believed it because they knew I hated him. Because I was like, this is some bullshit that this podunk dude from Knoxville is coming over here and taking my spot. Not my dog spot, not my liver spot, my spot.
Oh God, the wheels have fallen off.
It has.
Oh fuck.
But anyway, so yeah, that's our Michael hit his boss with a chair story. So I'm gonna make sure to.
I do need to tell the story. I do need to tell the story about the jersey that's hanging behind you.
I think we've told that story, haven't we?
How I got the jersey, or how we got it signed? We told them how it got signed.
We didn't. Yeah, we got it signed. Yeah, we do need to tell that story. We'll save that for another adventure.
Yeah, we'll do that another time.
Of how we got that.
But yes, so there was, and it may still be a rumor. I don't know. But there was a rumor at one point.
Last time I heard about it was before I got the job I'm at now. But it was about a year before then, so we're talking like 8 years ago still, and that was my son is 18 now, so that was over 18 years ago. that was happening. So a long time, and I still heard it 8 years ago. So great story. With that being said, though, we want to appreciate everybody for being here. Big Mike, thank you for being in the chat with us here. The 25 people that have now joined us, go back and watch the rest over on VOD. We will be back. We'll be back on Thursday to talk more about wrestling. But until then, hit us up on all the socials down there below. Like, subscribe, hit the bell, do all that stuff. Hit us up on our personal X's, which are under our names here. You got the talent over there. You got the brains over here. Not so brainy today, but hey, it happens sometimes. A little dementia never hurt nobody.
Except Mae Young.
Oh,
go ahead.
Her hand would be so proud. I'm Mike. This is Tori.
I hate you.
And we will catch you on the next one. Bye.
Here's the cover. Can he do it? Kick out.